Well, we're coming to your city. Gonna play our guitars and sing you a country song. We'll all be flying higher than a jet airliner. And if you want a little bang in your yin yang, come along.
Welcome along, the Indiana Sports Beat. Thanks a lot for taking us along. Wherever you're going, whatever you may be doing, we appreciate you taking Indiana Sports Beat along for the ride. Coming to you from the Golf Club at Eagle Point Studios. Hope your day's off to a good start. If not, hope we can get headed in that right direction. On the program today, Matt Weaver is going to join us. We'll talk a little bit spring football. A lot of basketball to talk about. A little bit of news yesterday. As suspected, I thought so. Joey Brunk is going to be an Indiana Hoosier. We'll talk about that and a lot more. But before we get to all that, let's get to the headlines.
Absolutely. Here are your Daily Hoosier headlines on this 17th day of April, 2019. As IU baseball with a huge night last night as they take down Ball State 14-3. They're now 25-12 on the season and winners of 8 straight ball games. Finally, a piece falls for IU basketball, as Jim mentioned, as Butler grad transfer Joey Brunk will join the Hoosiers for the next 2 seasons. Those are a look at your Daily Hoosier headlines for this 17th day of April 2019. For more information, be sure to check out thedailyhoosier.com.
And as Justin mentioned, Joey Brunk commits to Indiana yesterday. The grad transfer from Butler, he will have 2 years of eligibility left, so a nice pickup. For Indiana. He's not an All-American, but he's a nice piece. 6'11" banger. He averaged over 7 points a game as a sophomore. If you look back at Juwan Morgan's numbers, pretty similar for his sophomore season. So it's a great get. You're getting a lot bigger body, something that they can use in a different position, a different way. Juwan Morgan played out of position pretty much for the last couple of years, as a matter of fact, playing the 5 spot way too often, which is not what he's built to do. But Joey Brunk coming on should help Indiana. Now, will that help him get other recruits? He's not, again, it's not a huge get, but just getting something seems to always do that. Picture posted yesterday that you could see Joey Brunk in a sweat-soaked shirt with Trace Jackson Davis. So obviously they've been working out and getting things going. So some good news for Indiana. Hey, hit us up on the text line. Let us know what your thoughts are. 812-269-6367. Appreciate you joining us today. Hit it with any questions, comments you might have. Let us know. You can talk about whatever you like, whatever subject you like to hit up. If you can't catch us live, of course, always like or follow us on Facebook, and you can catch us anytime on thedailyhoosier.com, indianasportsbeat.com, or thegruelingtruth.com. Well, Indiana recruiting, they have got to fill some pieces, and they got started on that yesterday, as I've said. Joey Brunk now a first commitment of this recruiting period. He now adds to the class that's coming in of Trace Jackson Davis and Armand Franklin. How's it going to fit for Indiana? What's it going to mean for Indiana? Not a lot. Like I said, he's not like he's an All-American, but it's a good, solid piece. But the thing is, and what I like about him, he's a smart player. He wants to be an attorney. Obviously, he has a highly intelligent mind. So usually highly intelligent players make a lot less mistakes. And that is critical because, as you've seen, mistakes such as turnovers and things of the nature can wreck a game. And if you go back and look at some of Indiana's games last year, you can see that teams wouldn't always seems like everything was at the top of their mind at all times. But hopefully you can continue to add pieces. You know, something I started thinking about it, and people can take it however they want. But and someone mentioned, wasn't it nice to see him just, hey, send out a tweet, this is what I'm going to do, instead of canceling your decision because the All-Star game you're playing is not televised. Now, some people are not going to like that because obviously I'm talking about an Indiana recruit, but Really? Is that if that's your biggest important thing? You're changing your announcement because the game's not televised because it's not going to be on TV. That's the biggest concern. You're getting ready to go to any program you're getting ready to go to is going to be on TV every 10 minutes. But the biggest thought is making sure my announcement is on TV. Just something I've just been thinking about for the last day. It's just like, yeah, not.
Do you think that was maybe just to cover up because he's not ready to make a decision quite yet?
It's a good question. But if that's the case, then that's what you should be saying. That's what should be said, not a cover up, not doing it under a different pretense. So no, I really don't. I think it's because it's not on TV, and being on TV is the most important thing. Apparently, just my thought, my opinion. But like I said, it's been bothering me for the last 24 hours. I've just been thinking about that. It just, you know what? Not all about that. It's not all about how much attention you can get. So, attention seeking from the beginning, that's just something that's in the back of my mind. Take it how you will. But, yeah, I'm not a fan of that. Not a fan of that decision. That you're this. It's just, hey, maybe I'm just a get off your lawn kind of a deal right now. But you know what? It's got to stop somewhere. It does. I mean, everything's me. If it's a me thing, that talent's great. But I think we've seen what happens when you don't have a good fit. Fit's very important. Doesn't mean that that's the case there, but just food for thought. Something to think about. I
think that's just the times we're living in. I mean,
that's that. But see, it's partly true, but that's making an excuse for it.
Right.
And if you make an excuse for it, well, I know, but there's no buts. It either is or it's not. But I mean, there's truth to what you're saying. But if you make an excuse for it, then it continues and it probably gets worse.
Kids just want to have their name known before they even get to college, perhaps thinking maybe it'll help them get drafted easier.
Well, let me, instead of just playing a game, do you think Trendon Watford's name is not known?
Right.
Do you think he's not known? He's a freaking 5-star recruit being recruited by Duke and Memphis and Indiana, and his name's on every sports page in America. He's known. And that's my point. It's not enough. Got to be on TV to make my announcement. This aggravates me. It's, again, maybe I'm going to get off of my lawn kind of a deal here, but it aggravates me because I see that as the mentality. And it just, I don't like it. I don't have to like it. I don't have to like it, and I'm not going to like it.
Whatever happened to the good old days of guys just walking in coach's office and saying, "I'm in, coach"?
You saw that happen with Joey Brunk. He sent out a tweet. Hey, boom, 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 bam, done. That's what Joey Brunk did, exactly. I mean, he didn't walk into the office. He just sent out a tweet, one little message, bam. Hey, I'm Indiana kid. I forget what it was exactly. I have to pull it up. And I guess we should probably do that. But
did you see the jackass that commented on that? Why are we all excited about Joey Brunk? Averaged 17 points and yada, yada.
Yes, I did. And
Shut
you know what?
up.
Not only that, he, in his response is to Joey Brunk.
Yeah.
Again, why are you talking to these players? Why? You do not need to reach out to them directly. And especially if you're going to slam them, you're an idiot or a troll.
Well, and that's
or both. You're an idiotic troll.
Well, and that's the thing about Joey Brunk is you don't need this kid to come in and average 25 points, 10 rebounds a game and shoot 80%. That you don't need that. You need 7 points. Sounds pretty good. Give him about 8-9 rebounds a game. Shoots the ball fairly consistently. That's going to be fine.
Well, but see, again, you got people that are just keyboard warriors. They're ignorant they're ignorant to sports. They're ignorant to a lot of things. And instead of finding things out, I answered a post yesterday by somebody along those lines. And he asked basically it may have been in that same string. As a matter of fact, here it is right here. It's, why are people losing their minds? Oh, this was about Devontae Green testing the NBA waters. Going to get some feedback. And you know what you see? No ready. Is he ready for no way is Green ready for the NBA. Really? Is that what's going on here? Is that what the situation is? No. He's doing what this rule was intended to do, to allow underclassmen or non-seniors to test the waters to see, hey, what do I need to do to improve? What do I need to look at? What do I need to work on? Could he get some feedback directly from the personnel so when he is going to enter the draft for real, he's going to be in a better position. But yet, instead of just being able to do that, which is exactly why this rule was implemented this way, you got idiots that got to respond, that have to respond that way. And someone asked, why are these people losing their minds? And you know the answer, the answer I gave, which doesn't mean jack, but that the honest answer is the majority of people on social media are clueless, and they have no idea what the hell they're talking about. And the worst thing is, it's because they get their news source from these fan pages, which is hilarious. And instead of just researching the question from, say, a legit source where you would actually find out the real information, they don't do that. What they do is they post a question on a fan page so it can be answered by someone who's even more clueless, or 50 of them. And so now and all stuff gets spread, and it's just, people are just funny.
Well, they're either really dumb or just like to hear themselves bitch constantly because it's...
people like to be seen. Yeah, people got to talk and blah, blah, blah.
It's wearing thin on me, I'll be honest.
I have to be on social media, but I hate it. It drives me insane. Some of the ridiculousness is crazy. And just... but you know what? It's not going to change. People now have a license to show their ignorance. To wave your stupid flag. Wave your stupid flag, baby. It used to be wave your freak flag. Now it's wave your stupid flag.
And they wave it proudly.
Oh boy, do they. With neon colors. With neon colors. But I find it hard to believe that this many people are that ignorant. I really do. And so I wonder, is it just that, or is it just more of an attention-seeking thing? Or just both? Who knows? But it just never fails. You know what? Devontae Green he's a talented player. He's a talented player. His brother's playing in the NBA right now. It's in the family genes. But he's a very talented player. Do I think he's ready to play in the NBA? No. But does he know? What's he doing? Using the rule as it was intended. James Blackman did it after his freshman year. Got the same load of crap from people. People don't think, they just speak. Or actually, they don't speak. They tap on their keyboards and send out ridiculous messages. That's in my opinion.
And if it's not right for them, it certainly can't be right for the kids that are going through it.
Oh, of course not. Of course not. They're just not ready. They must stay here. They must. Oh, my goodness. Hope your day is going well. Hit us up on the text line, 812-269-6367. Let us know what you're thinking. Indiana baseball. Woo, son. We're going to talk about that when we come back. They're on a roll, man. Jeff Mercer's got them firing on all cylinders. Saw the biggest home run I've ever seen in my life last night. We'll talk about that. A lot more. Matt Weaver's on the program today. We'll see what else we can get revved up for you. Indiana Sports Beat coming back from the Golf Club at Eagle Point Studios right after this.
Well, don't you worry, baby, don't worry, 'cause I'm right here at home.
Hello, everybody. Jim Coyle from Indiana Sports Beat. When I'm not covering the Hoosiers, you can find me at Bubba's 33 in Clarksville, located on the northeast corner of I-65 at Veterans Parkway. Bubba's 33 has hand-tossed pizzas, bold burgers, and ice-cold beer from a select list of local craft brewers. An incredible food selection, all made fresh daily. Whether you're meeting the team for that post-win meal in the family dining area or meeting friends for happy hour to watch the game on one of Bubba's 50 TVs. Bubba's 33 in Clarksville. Pizza, burgers, beer.
We all want a winning smile for those championship photos, and that's exactly what you will get at Reynolds Family Dentistry in Sellersburg. Reynolds Family Dentistry has been serving the dental needs of Hoosier families for over 30 years. Let Doctors Roger and Jay Reynolds take care of your family. Just off of I-65 at 809 South Indiana Avenue in Sellersburg. Call 812-246-3368. That's Reynolds Family Dentistry, 812-246-3368.
Many medicines used to treat colds and flu contain acetaminophen, a pain reliever and fever reducer found in hundreds of over-the-counter and prescription medicines. But taking too much or more than one medication containing acetaminophen per day can damage your liver. So always read the label and don't take acetaminophen if you drink 3 or more alcoholic drinks every day. To learn more, visit fda.gov/OTC pain info. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services Food and Drug Administration.
This is Jim Coyle with Indiana Sports Beat.
And I'm Justin Kalen with Indiana Sports Beat.
Justin, what's your favorite show?
It's got to be Indiana Sports Beat, but I'm not ever sure where to find it.
Well, you can always like and follow us on Facebook. Always follow the show rebroadcast on iTunes, Google Play, iHeartRadio, Spotify. TheDailyHoosier.com is a great place to sign up for each and every day. Or, of course, on 97.7 The Ref in Evansville. For the best recycling and waste removal service, turn to the area's leader, Sweetland Waste Removal and Recycling, a homegrown company serving southern Indiana since 1995. Sweetland Waste Removal and Recycling serves Floyd, Clark, Harrison, and Washington counties. For excellent service and peace of mind, call Sweetland Waste Removal and Recycling today at 812-944-5642. That's 812-944-5642. Keep life sweet with Sweetland Waste Removal and Recycling.
All across the country, people are coming together to speed up what we can learn about health. The All of Us Research Program is calling on 1 million people to join us as we try to change the future of health. For your family, for future generations, for all of us. Visit joinallofus.org and find out how you can become 1 in a million.
All right, crew, let's get her dug.
Honey, you want to give me a hand? I'm planting that tree, remember?
No matter how large or small your digging project may be, no matter how urban or rural, you must always call 811 before any digging project. 811 is our national one-call number, alerting your local utility companies to come out and mark any lines they have near your dig site. You must call 811 at least 2 to 3 business days before any digging project, so you can avoid hitting our essential buried utilities. This includes natural gas and petroleum pipelines, electric, communication cables, and water and sewer lines. So before you do this or this, make sure you do this. For digging projects big or small, make the call to 811. Brought to you by Common Ground Alliance.
Yeah, Jake, keep us rolling today. Welcome back to Indiana Sports Beat here at the Golf Club at Eagle Point Studios. Hope your day's off to a good start. Man, how about that weather yesterday? And, man, looks like it's going to be more of the same today before the bottom drops out. Holy smokes. Did you look at the forecast?
It's only going to get cold for 1 day.
2 days.
2 days.
But it's going to go from like 78 close to 80 to nothing again. Done with that stuff, man.
I think we are after this week.
I hope so. Hey, hit us up on the text line, 812-269-6367. Let us know what your thoughts are thinking. Man, Indiana baseball yesterday. Man, they are rolling. They've won 8 straight now. They knock off Ball State last night. 14-3 is the final score. And that came in a myriad of of ways, and I mean across the board. I'd say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. At least 8 different players got hits, if not more than that. I'm not looking at the full offensive sheet, but Scotty Bradley, 3 for 4 with a home run and 3 RBIs. Matt Gorski, 4 RBIs and a home run. All the RBIs came on 1 home run. And man, oh man, biggest home run I have ever seen in my life at any level, any place. He hit this ball. If you've not been to Bart Kaufman Field, the Jumbotron scoreboard, which has got to be, I don't know, 40 feet off the ground at the top in left field behind the 330 marker at fence. It's like a mini green monster. It was over top of that thing. And once it went there, everybody lost sight of it. It was never to be seen again. I mean, you talk about hitting that thing into the stratosphere. Nobody saw it come down because it just went beyond the scoreboard and was like, what?
Yeah,
that is a shot.
When I was in college, I saw a homer go off the middle portion of the scoreboard, and I thought that was a bomb. But yeah, for one to go over the scoreboard is absolutely incredible. Jeff Mercer actually talked about that Gorski homer after the game last night. Let's hear what he had to say.
Yeah, that was a bit unique, right? That was a bit different. Matt's a special player, and we all have those. We all have ebbs and flows in our personal lives and everything that we do, and that the same thing offensively. And so, Matt's really been working hard. He and I have had some conversations as well as with the other coaches, and you see him in the cages. And I talked to some of the coaches this week, and I said, Matt's getting right. You can see the way his body language is in the at-bats. You can see the way he stays parallel to the plate. You can see his approaches. When his outs are firm to the middle of the field consistently, doesn't expand the zone, you can see that he's getting right again. And you knew it was coming. It's just a matter of time, just like everybody else comes and goes. But, Matt obviously is a little bit more front and center, right? Everybody knows him, and he's a great player. So, but it has been nice to see him go again. I've been just as impressed with all of his at-bats. On the home run was terrific, but he's been really close.
And just real quick, Scotty,
Coach Jeff Mercer, Indiana baseball coach Jeff Mercer, talking about the gigantic shot of and the play of Matt Gorski. But man, oh man, Indiana had 5 home runs in all last night in that 14-3 win. They lead the nation in home runs with 66.
And how close is the next Big Ten team? Just curious.
39. Almost twice as many as the next closest Big Ten team. And Indiana may not be the best team in the Big Ten. Nebraska might be the best team in the Big Ten. But they are destroying that ball. That's a lot of home runs. Arizona State, Indiana was going back and forth with them, but going last night, Indiana took the lead for certain. And I don't know if what Arizona State did. They did play last night, but they'd have to hit a bunch of home runs to catch back up because, wow. Indiana's now won 8 straight. They've got a 3-game set on the road this weekend up in East Lansing, taking on Michigan State. Then there's a big game down in Lexington yesterday. I think it was in Lexington. Louisville took on Kentucky. I don't know what the final score was. I think they won by an easy, comfortable margin. Louisville's a highly ranked team. But I bring that up because next Tuesday, Indiana travels to Lexington. No, wait a minute. Next Tuesday, they're at Victory Field to take on Ball State again. The Tuesday after that, they travel to Lexington to take on Kentucky. The Tuesday after that, they're at home in Bloomington against Louisville. That is going to be a hell of a game. That's going to be a capacity crowd. It's going to be a great, if the weather's great, that is going to be a big-time environment. Louisville is I think they're like number 3 or 4 in the RPI. They're way up there. So that's going to be a big game. So looking forward to that. But, yeah, Indiana travels to East Lansing this weekend. Michigan State, not having a great year. I think they're not doing very well. Indiana has an opportunity to get another sweep. That would be great to continue to add to their RPI to keep bolstering that, because Indiana is going to make the NCAA tournament this year. I have no doubts about that. From what I've heard, they could finish the season winning 10 out of their last only winning 10 out of their last 19 games. If they go 10-9, they're still going to make the tournament right now. Yeah. They played that well, but it's more than that. You don't want to just play well. They want a shot at hosting a super regional. Now, that's a tall task. Only one team from the Big Ten is going to do that. Likely either Nebraska or Indiana, because whoever is the Big Ten champion will probably get that opportunity. But you can't just be the Big Ten champion. You're going to be the Big Ten champion, and you're going to have to make some serious noise in the tournament, if not win it, to solidify that. But hosting a super regional, that means you're home until you go to Omaha.
Yeah. And that's a huge advantage. We saw an Indiana team 5-6 years ago have that advantage where they got to play at home and did end up getting to go to Omaha. Now, they didn't have the success that I think this team wants to have, but it's definitely an advantage playing at home.
Absolutely. Well, especially for this team. They seem obviously very comfortable. They're hitting the long ball. I'd have to pull the stats up to see how many they've hit home versus away, but obviously I'm going to guess more home than away, because away is a multitude of different parks, whereas home is just home. But it would be a gigantic advantage for Indiana, and their best chance of making it back to Omaha to the College World Series. But buddy, they got a great team. They don't even have Khalif out there right now. They just got Tommy Summer back, he pitcher yesterday. He went 6 innings, 10 strikeouts. Indiana pitching has had double-digit strikeouts in 15 of their 37 games. Almost half, not quite, but almost half of their games, their pitchers have had double-digit strikeouts. That does a lot for you.
Yeah,
now on top.
Go ahead.
No.
I was just going to say the pitching staff has been phenomenal. It's not only just been the bats for Indiana. It's the pitching is really starting to come around as well, and that helps, certainly.
Absolutely. Jeff Mercer talked about what he called shrinking the game, but it's not just the pitching. It is the hitting, but it's the defense. They had a ton of spectacular defensive plays last night. I mean, there were some big-time catches. I mean, running, diving catches in the outfield, multiple ones. There were plays in the infield. There were just some super, super great defensive plays. So Indiana's doing it in a lot of different ways right now, and that is exactly what it takes to win big, to win big-time games. When you're hitting on all cylinders, when you're hitting the ball, when you're catching the ball, and when you're throwing the ball that they can't hit, you're going to win a lot of ball games. And that's what they're doing right now. And that's why they've won 8 straight. And I've talked about this with Jeff Mercer. I love listening to his postgame because he's an education. He's an education into what they're trying to do there, and he's an education in the game. And that's not any more evident than I posted one of his comments last night that even though in a 14-3 win, in which they did virtually everything right, he feels his team could have played a lot better. Only in the instance, it was his only, I don't want to say gripe, but that's, complaint, whatever you want to call it. Those 3 runs they gave up, he said all 3 were unnecessary. Shouldn't have happened. And, a lot of people are going to say, well, my gosh, they won 14-3. Isn't that good enough? No.
Not for him.
That's the difference between mediocrity and superiority. And he wants to have a program that is superior. Isn't that the goal? And to get there, those are the things you have to do. I love that. I mean, he wasn't saying it in a disparaging way. He was praising his team. He praised Ball State. But what he said was true. Those runs all scored off of mistakes. And the funny thing is, even one of them happened off of a mistake, off of a tremendous play. One of those great defensive plays that I talked about. Out in right field, the catch was made, a diving catch. There was only one out. I believe may have thought that there were two outs. And a run ends up scoring there. And one of the things Jeff Mercer points out, he says, you can't give up, you can't spot teams 3 runs and expect that you're going to score 14. You don't know that you're going to score 14. So you can't spot them those 3 runs.
Yeah, and that's a good point. I mean, especially if it's early in the ball game, that can get a team down real quick. But I think going back to playing at home, that's where the playing at home advantage comes in. You get pretty good crowds at Bart Kaufman Field. They're usually pretty rowdy, not basketball game rowdy, but they make some noise out there. So you can't allow those early runs. Good to see them come back and get 14 on the board of their own.
Yeah, I mean, man, gee whiz, did they hit the ball yesterday. Like I said, 5 home runs. They lead the nation with 66. But it wasn't just that. I mean, like Drew Ashley, we talked about him after the Evansville series from Evansville Memorial High School. Had a great game then. Wasn't having a good game last night at the plate. His first 2 appearances, I remember I forget, struck out or didn't do much, but he comes back up, and I think he had the bases loaded, if I remember correctly. And he gets a hit. Drives in 2 runs. He goes 1 for 4. But that one hit, critical, because it drove in 2 runs. Timely hitting, good hitting. They're doing it. Indiana baseball's in good hands with Jeff Mercer.
Yeah, and we've talked about how last night and pretty much all year long, it's been all phases of the game that have really been working out for this team. Jeff Mercer talked about that after the game last night, especially how it was all phases of the game that led him to the win. Let's hear what he had to say.
Yeah, we were really good in all phases of the game. I had one gripe. The 3 runs that they scored, and that's a really good team, and I respect those guys greatly, but we gave those 3 runs away. We had should have been strike him out, throw him out, guy delayed at first base, and we have to execute that play, whether it's a throw or the catch and the tag, and next guy singles, next guy doubles, and obviously Grant made a sensational catch on right, and then I don't think he knew the outs or lost his breath. Whichever way it was a great catch, but we have to finish that play. And offensively we're talented and we're good, but you just can't spot somebody 3 runs and expect to just score 14. So that was part of our conversation there. But beyond that, you look at Colbar's growth defensively has been incredible, sensational, and he made a couple. Those are big league plays in the 6-hole. Those are true big league plays, and plays that he's worked hard to. He and Coach Dykes have worked hard to improve on. You look at Matt Gorski's his reads in center, like the catch in left center was terrific, right? Terrific. The ball skills, the finish, we worked so much on that. But he caught a ball in right center earlier in the game that me as an outfield coach, I was just as excited about, because as the time that I looked up, he was already 3 steps into a break, which means his pre-pitch routine is terrific and his ability to read off the bat. And he made it look easy, but in reality, it's a double, not 90% of the time. And those things change the game. If you can, I think we struck out 14 guys and walked 1, had 1 hit by pitch late. But if you can shrink the game, we take care of the throw out second base, and we take care of that, and you shrink the game in all those other defensive areas. Cade Bunnell being able to really be mobile over and go into the 4-hole, make that backhand play. And you shrink the game, it's just really hard to find runs against a really good offensive team. And that's what we've been striving to become. There's still more for us to do, and we have to work to that.
Coach Tommy Summer.
Coach Jeff Mercer talking about what I had mentioned there, and I love that answer. He's not bashing his team, but he is simply and matter-of-factly pointing out, hey, those 3 runs, we gave it to them. And you can't do that. You can't do that because you don't know you're going to score 14. You don't know you're going to have that kind of a night. You don't know that Matt Gorski's going to hit the biggest home run in a long time, a grand slam. You don't know that stuff's going to happen. You want it to, but you just don't know that. But again, that's the difference between mediocrity and greatness. And that's what he's striving for. And I love that. But he's certainly got him going, man. Certainly got him going.
Yeah, and wasn't there another long home run, too? I saw a video that somebody had posted about a
and there were 5 home runs.
Yeah, but one of them, the one to right field, was ridiculously long.
Yeah, that was way up the berm.
Yeah.
I mean, that was way up the berm. They've got a car parked out in center field, and somebody hit one out of center, which is a 400-foot fence. Didn't get to the car. But they have a car parked out there that if you hit the car, I don't know if everybody gets registered. I forget. Anyway, it's a promotional deal, but there's a car out there that's a target.
It was Scotty Bradley who hit that first home run that I saw. By the way, Scotty was a double away from the cycle last night.
Yeah. And then, he was talking about that play in right field. Grant Richardson's who he's talking about. You got to finish that play. He made an unbelievable catch, and he hit the ground kind of hard. It may have knocked the air out of him. But I'm not sure he knew how many outs there were because he's kind of he got up slowly and just kind of lollygag. And I'm like, well, dude, what are you doing? So I don't think but that's a guy he's a freshman, but he's leading your team in hitting. He's the best hitter you got. He's hitting .352 for Indiana.
Can't be too mad at him.
He's been freshman of the week and player of the week in the Big Ten already 2 or 3 times. This dude is special. He's not calling him out, but he's making him better. He's going to make him better, which is going to make his team better. And I love that. Hey, we got to take a break. We got more coming up here on Indiana Sports Beat. Stay tuned. We'll be back with more of it here at the Golf Club at Eagle Point Studios right after this.
Hello, everybody. Jim Coyle from Indiana Sports Beat. When I'm not covering the Hoosiers, you can find me at Bubba's 33 in Clarksville, located on the northeast corner of I-65 at Veterans Parkway. Bubba's 33 has hand-tossed pizzas, bold burgers, and ice-cold beer from a select list of local craft brewers. An incredible food selection, all made fresh daily. Whether you're meeting the team for that post-win meal in the family dining area or meeting friends for happy hour to watch the game on one of Bubba's 50 TVs. Bubba's 33 in Clarksville. Pizza, burgers, beer.
We all want a winning smile for those championship photos, and that's exactly what you will get at Reynolds Family Dentistry in Sellersburg. Reynolds Family Dentistry has been serving the dental needs of Hoosier families for over 30 years. Let Doctors Roger and Jay Reynolds take care of your family. Just off of I-65 at 809 South Indiana Avenue in Sellersburg. Call 812-246-3368. That's Reynolds Family Dentistry, 812-246-3368.
Many medicines used to treat colds and flu contain acetaminophen, a pain reliever and fever reducer found in hundreds of over-the-counter and prescription medicines. But taking too much or more than one medication containing acetaminophen per day can damage your liver. So always read the label and don't take acetaminophen if you drink 3 or more alcoholic drinks every day. To learn more, visit fda.gov/OTC pain info. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services Food and Drug Administration.
This is Jim Coyle with Indiana Sports Beat.
And I'm Justin Kalen with Indiana Sports Beat.
Justin, what's your favorite show?
It's got to be Indiana Sports Beat, but I'm not ever sure where to find it.
Well, you can always like and follow us on Facebook. Always follow the show rebroadcast on iTunes, Google Play, iHeartRadio, Spotify. TheDailyHoosier.com is a great place to sign up for it each and every day. Or, of course, on 97.7 The Ref in Evansville. For the best recycling and waste removal service, turn to the area's leader, Sweetland Waste Removal and Recycling, a homegrown company serving southern Indiana since 1995. Sweetland Waste Removal and Recycling serves Floyd, Clark, Harrison, and Washington counties. For excellent service and peace of mind, call Sweetland Waste Removal and Recycling today at 812-944-5642. That's 812-944-5642. Keep life sweet with Sweetland Waste Removal and Recycling.
All across the country, people are coming together to speed up what we can learn about health. The All of Us Research Program is calling on 1 million people to join us as we try to change the future of health. For your family, for future generations, for all of us. Visit joinallofus.org and find out how you can become one in a million.
All right, crew, let's get her dug.
Honey, want to give me a hand? I'm planting that tree, remember?
No matter how large or small your digging project may be, no matter how urban or rural, you must always call 811 before any digging project. 811 is our national one-call number, alerting your local utility companies to come out and mark any lines they have near your dig site. You must call 811 at least 2 to 3 business days before any digging project, so you can avoid hitting our essential buried utilities. This includes natural gas and petroleum pipelines, electric, communication cables, and water and sewer lines. So before you do this or this, make sure you do this. For digging projects big or small, make the call to 811. Brought to you by Common Ground Alliance.
Well, you know you make me wanna shout, kick my heels up and shout, throw my hands up and shout, throw my head back and shout. Come on now, shout, don't forget to say you shout.
Oh, to the Gators. Welcome back to the Golf Club at Eagle Point Studios, Indiana Sports Beats. Hope your day's going well. Archie Millers is off to a good start because he landed Joey Brunk yesterday. One piece of the puzzle falls into place. 6'11" grad transfer from Butler, committed to Indiana. That news first came from Peaks.com. Kyle Simpson, his coach, relayed that information. Brunk's immediately eligible. He's got 2 seasons left. He played 2 seasons at Butler and had a redshirt season. He's a skilled and stout 6'11", 230-pounder. He's a banger.
That'll help.
Averaged about 7.5 points a game, 3.5 rebounds a game. Shot 60% from the field. Not a very good free throw shooter, I noticed. He played about half the game. His minutes will probably increase. He was just as he was a sophomore. He's a junior to be. His sophomore numbers kind of close to what Juwan Morgan's were. They both averaged right around the exact same amount. As a matter of fact, it's a 1/10 of a point difference between them. I think Juwan Morgan was 7.7 and Brunk 7.6. He started in 13 of their 33 games. He shot 62% from 2-point range. He brought his percentage down just a little bit from his shooting from behind the arc. You know how many he hoisted up?
Let's hear it.
3. Not a 3-point shooter.
And he hit how many?
1.
That's not bad.
Nah, 33%.
I'll take 1 for 3 this upcoming season.
Yeah, let's leave it at that. Let's leave it at that. Let's hope that they can land a shooter, that Devontae continues to improve his shooting, that Al continues to improve his shooting, Rob Finney improves his shooting. You've got Armand Franklin coming in. You got Demezy Anderson over there. Jerome Hunter, man, X Factor. We kind of keep forgetting about him because he's on the sideline right now. I've heard he's making progress, and that's a great sign because I'm telling you, that dude's a player, man. The dude's a player. He's a baller. He's a good player.
He was, I remember before last season, he was getting majority of the praise in summer ball and fall ball in terms of practice from his peers. He was getting all the praise more so than Romeo. And so I'm excited to see Jerome Hunter play. I wish we could have saw him play last year. It would have helped that team immensely. But hopefully he's able to get himself right, and we'll see him this year.
Yeah, he's a little more of a dynamic player, in my opinion.
Yeah,
he's got a lot more to his game. Let's just hope he can play. Hope he can play because that's a whole nother wrinkle that kind of keeps getting forgotten because we don't know. Don't know what he's going to be able to do. Don't know what he's going to be able to do. The names are going back to on the football jerseys. We talked about that yesterday. We can talk about it again today. It cracks me up. I remember when last year when Fred the Builder puffed his chest out and the old, we don't have names on the back of the jerseys here at Indiana University. This year. Reverse course. Well, with the funny thing is, every reason I gave yesterday, I went back and read his statement. Everything I said was in that statement. The disc talks about the fans, the proximity to the field, the number of players on the football team, over 100, the fact that there's double numbers being used by multiple players, the fact that they're wearing helmets, you can't see their faces. It's a myriad of reasons, all of which was said last year. But yeah, we don't have names on the jerseys, blah, 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 blah. What load of crap.
Fred obviously listens to the show.
Yeah, I'm sure that's what it was. Yeah, Jake, I'm sure that's exactly what happened. But it's this kind of funny. Kind of funny. Joker hit us up on the text line. So if Joey Brunk is a 33% three-point shooter and a 60% free throw shooter, he fits on IU's team perfectly.
That's true.
There you go. There you go. It's funny that Mike Schumann from the Daily Hoosier, let me see if I can get him pulled up on Twitter. He posted something about some three-point shooting percentages by three of Indiana's players. He said, I was just looking back at the IU basketball 2013 stats for something, and he's working on, and he stumbled upon these three-point percentages for that season. Watford shot 48%, Hull's 45%, and Oladipo 44%.
Oh, my gosh.
That's nothing. That is nothing. I did a little research real quick because I kind of knew. But if you want to see, I said, you want to see your eyes pop? Check out the teams from the late 80s and early 90s with Jay Edwards, Todd Leary, Pat Graham, Damon Bailey, Calbert Chaney, etc. None of those teams shot under 40%.
Wow.
And they are upwards around 47% as a team.
That's incredible.
Jay Edwards shot 57% last season. And he didn't take 4 shots either. He put up a ton. 57%.
That's unbelievable. I thought 48 of Christian Watford was pretty damn good, if I say so myself, but 57.
It is good. It's great.
Yeah.
57's that's how great Jay Edwards was.
Yeah.
Smooth stroking shooter, man. But this is what Indiana used to have. And you know what's in common with every one of those names I just listed to you? They're Indiana ball players. They're kids from Indiana. Calbert Chaney, Jay Edwards, Todd Leary, Damon Bailey, Pat Graham. All of them. Indiana high schoolers. Those teams, all of them shot over 40%. The worst was 40%. It probably averaged about 45%. Their teams, I can't say that enough. Their teams averaged for the season, not a game, all 30-something games they'd play. That is shooting, my friend. That is what a team needs. You shoot the ball like that, winning a lot of ball games. And guess what? Look at the records of those teams. They won a lot of ball games. As a matter of fact, if I'm correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe Damon Bailey may have won more games as an Indiana Hoosier than anybody else in the history of Indiana basketball. He was right in the middle of those teams that could just shoot the damn lights out.
Yeah.
Shooting wins you games.
Do you think you ever see another Indiana team shoot 45% from three?
I don't know. If they ever recruit shooters, yeah.
I don't even know if with recruiting shooters and the just sheer volume that guys put up 3-pointers now.
Well, you've got
got
people shooting the ball that shouldn't be shooting 3-pointers.
Sure.
That's what. And you want to know what's funny? The year that Jay Edwards shot 57%. I need to pull that up real quick. The team percentage that year was probably, I think, 45, if I remember correctly. And you know what that included? That included Keith Smart, who was 9 of 28.
Yeesh.
So his paltry shooting brought the overall percentage down. But Jay Edwards was so out of this world that they still shot 45%. Man, Keith Smart, thank God he hit that shot in 1987. Boy, he couldn't hit water if he fell out of a boat that year, it seemed like.
Hit the one that matters.
But look at those teams that shot the ball that well. They won a ton of games. How many games would Indiana won last year if they could have shot 40%?
Oh, you're looking at a whole different team.
Hell yes, you are. You're looking at a Sweet 16 team, minimum. Shooting. It's imperative. I don't care what kind of system you're running. You got to be able to shoot the ball. Virginia runs the pack line defense, but they had Kyle Guy. They have others. They could shoot the ball. If you can't shoot the ball, you're not going to win. I don't care what kind of system you're running. So this team needs shooters. Devontae's got to get better. Rob Finney's got to get better. Al Durham's got to get better at shooting the ball. They got to bring guys in that can shoot the ball. They got to start hitting shots. You can't have guys taking the majority of your three-point shots that are hitting 27%. Because guess what's going to happen? You're going to lose 12 out of 13 games. You're going to not make the NCAA tournament. That's what's going to happen.
I'm looking it up right now, and Virginia had the 7th highest three-point percentage this year with 39.5%.
Thank you for making me look smarter than I am. Boom, there you go. There you go. A defensive-minded team. Their entire team is built on defense. Tony Bennett's team is built on defense. The pack line defense, no less. But they can shoot the ball. And what did that make them? An elite team. But they had elite players. Kyle Guy's an elite player. He declared for the draft, by the way.
He just wants them wedding gifts.
Sure, I think he's got that covered, man. He's gonna get better wedding gifts than they got on Wedding Crashers.
Speaking of, I was gonna bring that up. Jake bringing us back with that song. I cannot hear that song and not think of Wedding Crashers.
Well, I already forgot what song it was. What song was it?
It's Shout.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh,
there you go. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
You got it. Now.
Yeah. But I was thinking Animal House. I was thinking of Otis Day in the Night.
That's what I think of when I hear that song.
Man, Otis Day. You got to go with Otis Day. My man, do you know who Otis Day is?
Me? I do not. I haven't seen Animal House.
I wish the world could see me shaking my head. What did you just say? You haven't seen Animal House?
I haven't. No.
You're un-American.
I'll see if I can.
You're a communist.
I'm gonna squeeze it in today.
I'm convinced you're a communist. You haven't seen The Big Lebowski. You haven't seen Animal House.
Have you seen Caddyshack?
I have seen Caddyshack.
Okay.
If your mic was getting shut off if that was in. Those are some of the most iconic comedies that we have.
Yeah.
Animal House. Dude, John Belushi, the whole crew. Man. Otis Day, my man.
Check it out today.
But you got to have shooters. I mean, I don't think I'm saying anything that anybody else doesn't know. But until they can shoot the ball, they're not going to win. And there's no other way around that. You cannot have the guy taking all your 3-point shots, shooting 27%, and expect to win any games, many games. It's not going to happen. And it didn't happen. Not just one player I'm talking about either. There was nobody on that team that shot very well. Devontae tuned it up there toward the end of the season. But you had Justin Smith taking 3-point shots. What the hell's he doing?
Not ideal.
That needs to end. He should never take a 3-point shot again, ever. We got to take a break. We got a lot more coming up. Indiana Sports Beat's back with more from the Golf Club at Eagle Point Studios right after this.
Yeah. What is it good for? Absolutely nothing. Yeah. What is it good for? Absolutely nothing. Say it again, y'all.
Hello, everybody. Jim Coyle from Indiana Sports Beat. When I'm not covering the Hoosiers, you can find me at Bubba's 33 in Clarksville, located on the northeast corner of I-65 at Veterans Parkway. Bubba's 33 has hand-tossed pizzas, bold burgers, and ice-cold beer from a select list of local craft brewers. An incredible food selection, all made fresh daily. Whether you're meeting the team for that post-win meal in the family dining area or meeting friends for happy hour to watch the game on one of Bubba's 50 TVs. Bubba's 33 in Clarksville. Pizza, burgers, beer.
We all want a winning smile for those championship photos, and that's exactly what you will get at Reynolds Family Dentistry in Sellersburg. Reynolds Family Dentistry has been serving the dental needs of Hoosier families for over 30 years. Let Doctors Roger and Jay Reynolds take care of your family. Just off of I-65 at 809 South Indiana Avenue in Sellersburg. Call 812-246-3368. That's Reynolds Family Dentistry, 812-246-3368.
Many medicines used to treat colds and flu contain acetaminophen, a pain reliever and fever reducer found in hundreds of over-the-counter and prescription medicines. But taking too much or more than one medication containing acetaminophen per day can damage your liver. So always read the label and don't take acetaminophen if you drink 3 or more alcoholic drinks every day. To learn more, visit fda.gov/OTC pain info. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services Food and Drug Administration.
This is Jim Coyle with Indiana Sports Beat.
And I'm Justin Kalen with Indiana Sports Beat.
Justin, what's your favorite show?
It's got to be Indiana Sports Beat, but I'm not ever sure where to find it.
Well, you can always like and follow us on Facebook. Always follow the show rebroadcast on iTunes, Google Play, iHeartRadio, Spotify. TheDailyHoosier.com is a great place to sign up for each and every day, or, of course, on 97.7 The Ref in Evansville. For the best recycling and waste removal service, turn to the area's leader, Sweetland Waste Removal and Recycling, a homegrown company serving southern Indiana since 1995. Sweetland Waste Removal and Recycling serves Floyd, Clark, Harrison, and Washington counties. For excellent service and peace of mind, call Sweetland Waste Removal and Recycling today at 812-944-5642. That's 812-944-5642. Keep life sweet with Sweetland Waste Removal and Recycling.
All across the country, people are coming together to speed up what we can learn about health. The All of Us Research Program is calling on 1 million people to join us as we try to change the future of health. For your family, for future generations, for all of us. Visit joinallofus.org and find out how you can become 1 in a million.
All right, crew, let's get her dug.
Honey, want to give me a hand? I'm planting that tree, remember?
No matter how large or small your digging project may be, no matter how urban or rural, you must always call 811 before any digging project. 811 is our national one-call number, alerting your local utility companies to come out and mark any lines they have near your dig site. You must call 811 at least 2 to 3 business days before any digging project, so you can avoid hitting our essential buried utilities. This includes natural gas and petroleum pipelines, electric, communication cables, and water and sewer lines. So before you do this or this, make sure you do this. For digging projects big or small, make the call to 811. Brought to you by Common Ground Alliance.
This hour is brought to you by Sweetland Waste and Removal Service, a homegrown company serving southern Indiana since 1995.
Well, we're coming to your city. Gonna play our guitars and sing you a country song. We'll all be flying higher than a jetliner. And if you want a little bang in your yin-yang, come along.
Well, welcome along to Indiana Sports Beat. Thanks a lot for taking us along. Wherever you're going, whatever you may be doing, thanks a lot for taking Indiana Sports Beat along for the ride. Coming to you from the Golf Club at Eagle Point Studios. Hope you're having a great day. If not, let's get it off to a good start for you. Jim Coyle with you as always. We'll be joined today by Matt Weaver and see what else we could scare up for you. A lot to talk about. Let's get to the headlines right away with Justin.
All right, here are your Daily Hoosier headlines for the 17th day of April 2019. As IU baseball with a huge night last night as they take down Ball State 14-3. They're now 25-12 and winners of 8 straight ball games. Tommy Sommer with a career-high 10 strikeouts. Finally, a piece falls for IU basketball as Butler grad transfer Joey Brunk will join the Hoosiers. He will have 2 years of eligibility. Those are a look at your Daily Hoosier headlines for the 17th day of April 2019. For more information, be sure to check out thedailyhoosier.com.
Hey, welcome back. Hope your day's off to a good one. We got a lot to talk about. Indiana basketball, as Justin said, gets a commitment from Joey Brunk. Pretty much expected from everything we've been hearing here the last couple of days, but the former Butler player and current Butler student still, but will be an Indiana student and player next year. He is immediately eligible after his sophomore year. He's a grad transfer, and he'll have 2 years of eligibility left for Archie Miller and the Indiana basketball program. A nice get, big 6'11" banger. He averaged a little over 7.5 points a game last season. So, and I'm sure those numbers will continue to climb. That's about what Juwan Morgan averaged when he was a sophomore. So, see how that can improve. But a good get by Indiana. Now they've got to continue to add. They've got more recruits that they need to lock down. They've got to get a guard. They need some shooting. We were talking about this earlier. Mike Schumer, a friend who's always on the program each week from the Daily Hoosier, he's working on a piece, and so he was looking back at some old shooting numbers back in 2013, and Christian Watford was shot 48% that season. Jordan Hulls was like 46 or whatever, and Victor Oladipo was 44. And I saw that, and I just chuckled. I'm like, man, that's nothing. Go back to the late 80s, early 90s, when Indiana's entire team was shooting 45%. That is shooting. But look at those teams at that era, and they were winning tons of games. You had Jay Edwards that shot 57%. You had guys that shot 47%, 45%, but the entire team was shooting that. And it made a huge difference because you look at Indiana's team last year at 31.2%, 316th out of 350 teams. About as bad as you can get. And it is a crucial part. Don't think it's not. Because you look at Virginia, the team that just won the national championship, they run the pack line defense. Their program's predicated on defense. Tony Bennett does a great job there. But he also does a great job of knowing that he has to have shooters. And they did a pretty good job of that. What were their stats, Jake?
39.5% from three, 7th in the country.
Yeah.
7th in the country. Great defense, great shooting, wins you a bunch of ball games. That's been proven over and over. And so that is an ill that Indiana has to solve. It's not even a question. This has to be done. I don't understand why it's not considered critical that Indiana adds shooting to this team. I see people that don't, they say, well, they're building it for the long run. No, it's now. You need shooters now. There's no reason you can't add shooters. The only reason you can't add shooters is because you're not getting the recruits. So they need to add shooting because 31.2% ain't cutting it. The guy who's taking most of your three-point shots shooting 27%, that doesn't cut it. Not going to work. Devontae Green, he's their hope for next year. He shot 41%. The only Hoosier to even approach 40%. Even Evan Fitzner, who was brought in as a three-point specialist, a career 42% shooter. He shot 30% last year, 31%.
I'm going to have to go back and find the audio from that show because I remember when Evan Fitzner committed, I told you that I'm not excited about it. He played at St. Mary's. Hopefully he was able to come in and do something, but it didn't work out, and that sucks for Indiana because he could have been a big piece.
No, I trust that you said it. You say you said it, I believe you. You were right, and you would have been right. But
just wasn't crazy about it. But this Joey Brunk one, I really like. I think he's going to be a valuable piece. I mean, in the Big Ten, you've got to have size, and that's what Joey Brunk brings to the table.
Absolutely.
If nothing else.
Experience and intelligence. He's an intelligent basketball player. Dude's going to be an attorney, so he's smart. And there's nothing better than having smart basketball players. Smart players make less mistakes than ones that aren't smart.
And if you missed it on Twitter yesterday, I want to read Joey Brunk's tweet that he sent out to announce. He said, "I've grown up an Indiana kid, and I'm proud of where I come from. Excited to be an Indiana Hoosier and play for Coach Miller. Looking forward to joining the tradition."
And I believe that he is. He's wanted to play for Indiana. And he is one of those kids that wants to play for Indiana. And that's good. We're talking about the three-point shooting. Hit us up on the text line, 812-269-6367. Bill hit us up. He said, watching Justin Smith shoot a three is like watching a dentist come at you with a pair of pliers to pull 3 teeth with no Novocaine. Now, our good buddy Dr. J at Reynolds Family Dentistry wouldn't do that, but that's what that would be like. That is a great analogy. It was very, very painful to watch. Very painful.
But then you go back to, what was it, the Maryland or Michigan State game where he had 5 threes or 4 threes?
He was shooting with his eyes closed.
Yeah. But, I mean, that was fun to watch. And then you go back, and before that game and after that game, I agree. It's hard to watch him shoot.
I think he can be a pretty good three-point shooter eventually if he works on it this summer because his form actually is pretty good. It just looks like he thinks about shooting instead of just shooting the ball. You know what I mean?
There's nothing, I'm going to be honest with you, there's nothing about Justin Smith's game that I like. Nothing. I think he is weak and soft. And you can't fix soft. He's soft.
Jake,
and you cannot, you just can't fix soft.
Jake, can we get this audio cut out and send to him for a little motivation?
You can't motivate soft. I'm telling you, you just can't motivate soft. Soft is soft. It's just soft.
I got to be honest, Jim. I've never hoped you've been wrong so much in my life. I really hope that Justin Smith comes out and proves you wrong next year. Because I'm
hoping he doesn't have the opportunity. I'm hoping that Trace Jackson Davis and Joey Brunk and Deron Davis are getting the bulk of those minutes, and I'm hoping that Jerome Hunter is getting the bulk of those minutes. That's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping he's on the bench. I mean, unless he improves his game. But I don't see that coming because I just don't see. I don't see the want to. He's just too soft for me.
Let me ask you this: what if Justin Smith increases his vertical to 50 inches?
Well, obviously it won't matter because that just allows him to make a layup better.
Hopefully we don't hear anything like that this summer.
He's got to have the least dunks for anybody that has a 48-inch vertical of anybody in the history of sports. But, that's that wasn't not an Archie recruit. Do you think Archie would have recruited him? I don't. It's another holdover. Another holdover. But we'll see. Who knows? We've got a lot to talk about today. The NBA's underway as well. The NBA playoffs last night. Toronto even the series with the Magic with a 111-82 win. Denver and San Antonio even another series up with the Denver win 114-105. They overcame a 19-point deficit. Portland, they took out Russell Westbrook and the Thunder and the Lightning and the Thunder. Can't say it without saying it that anymore. Portland beats the Thunder 114-94. They took a 2-0 lead in that series. The Pacers back in action tonight. 7 o'clock. Boston, 7.5-point favorite.
Seems like they haven't played in 4 days, Pacers.
Well, maybe it's because they scored 8 points in the third quarter. Now, I was listening to some stuff last night. Scott Agnes, who was with The Athletic, reports on the Pacers, is in Boston. He'll be with us tomorrow on the program, by the way. But, you pointed out that yesterday that they only had 2 field goals in that quarter.
Yeah.
Not quite accurate. They had 1 and a goaltending call. So they actually hit 1 field goal in the entire third quarter.
That's incredible.
How is that possible for a professional team?
But you got to assume the goaltending call was going in as well.
Can't assume, brother.
You know
the Jazz. The Jazz and the Houston Rockets also tonight at 9:30. Eric Gordon, of course, former Hoosier, with the Rockets. Hopefully they can get another win. They won the other night over the Jazz. See if they can do that again tonight. The names are going back on the football jerseys for Indiana. What do you think about that? Hit us up on the text line, 812-269-6367. I am ecstatic. Should have never been changed. Glad it's going back. Man, glad it's going back. Glad it's going back. Hey, how about Russell Wilson? Seattle Seahawks quarterback. Can I get a loan? Can a man get a loan?
Nice little contract.
Was that a 4-year? It's a 4-year contract, right?
Correct, yep.
$140 million. Like $75 million guarantee. No, it was like a $75 million signing bonus. And then I think it's all, the rest of it's like guaranteed. That's staggering. I mean, what is that? That's $35 million a year.
A year, yep.
$35 million. Okay. Who the hell needs $35 million a year? So you're telling me $35 million for all 4 years is not enough?
Right?
You can't live on that? You can't scrape by on $35 million? You got to have 140? I'm not saying that the owner should keep it. Spread the love, man. Spread the love.
Give it to us little people.
Exactly what my thought is. Exactly. Hope your day is going well. Indiana's certainly is. Archie Miller, very happy. Wakes up with the commitment that he got yesterday from Joey Brunk. I'm sure he is happy, but hard back at it. We've got a lot to get to today. Matt Weaver's going to join us next. Talk a little football. We haven't done much of that. But stay tuned. We're coming to you from the Golf Club at Eagle Point Studios. Back with more Indiana Sports Beat right after this.
Hello, everybody. Jim Coyle from Indiana Sports Beat. When I'm not covering the Hoosiers, you can find me at Bubba's 33 in Clarksville, located on the northeast corner of I-65 at Veterans Parkway. Bubba's 33 has hand-tossed pizzas, bold burgers, and ice-cold beer from a select list of local craft brewers. An incredible food selection, all made fresh daily. Whether you're meeting the team for that post-win meal in the family dining area or meeting friends for happy hour to watch the game on one of Bubba's 50 TVs. Bubba's 33 in Clarksville. Pizza, burgers, beer.
We all want a winning smile for those championship photos, and that's exactly what you will get at Reynolds Family Dentistry in Sellersburg. Reynolds Family Dentistry has been serving the dental needs of Hoosier families for over 30 years. Let Doctors Roger and Jay Reynolds take care of your family. Just off of I-65 at 809 South Indiana Avenue in Sellersburg. Call 812-246-3368. That's Reynolds Family Dentistry, 812-246-3368.
Many medicines used to treat colds and flu contain acetaminophen, a pain reliever and fever reducer found in hundreds of over-the-counter and prescription medicines. But taking too much or more than one medication containing acetaminophen per day can damage your liver. So always read the label and don't take acetaminophen if you drink 3 or more alcoholic drinks every day. To learn more, visit fda.gov/OTC pain info. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services Food and Drug Administration.
This is Jim Coyle with Indiana Sports Beat.
And I'm Justin Kalen with Indiana Sports Beat.
Justin, what's your favorite show?
It's got to be Indiana Sports Beat, but I'm not ever sure where to find it.
Well, you can always like and follow us on Facebook. Always follow the show rebroadcast on iTunes, Google Play, iHeartRadio, Spotify. TheDailyHoosier.com is a great place to sign up for it each and every day. Or, of course, on 97.7 The Ref in Evansville. For the best recycling and waste removal service, turn to the area's leader, Sweetland Waste Removal and Recycling, a homegrown company serving southern Indiana since 1995. Sweetland Waste Removal and Recycling serves Floyd, Clark, Harrison, and Washington counties. For excellent service and peace of mind, call Sweetland Waste Removal and Recycling today at 812-944-5642. That's 812-944-5642. Keep life sweet with Sweetland Waste Removal and Recycling.
All across the country, people are coming together to speed up what we can learn about health. The All of Us Research Program is calling on 1 million people to join us as we try to change the future of health. For your family, for future generations, for all of us. Visit joinallofus.org and find out how you can become 1 in a million.
All right, crew, let's get her dug.
Honey, want to give me a hand? I'm planting that tree, remember?
No matter how large or small your digging project may be, no matter how urban or rural, you must always call 811 before any digging project. 811 is our national one-call number, alerting your local utility companies to come out and mark any lines they have near your dig site. You must call 811 at least 2 to 3 business days before any digging project, so you can avoid hitting our essential buried utilities. This includes natural gas and petroleum pipelines, electric, communication cables, and water and sewer lines. So before you do this or this, make sure you do this. For digging projects big or small, make the call to 811. Brought to you by Common Ground Alliance.
Today's guest is brought to you by Reynolds Family Dentistry of Sellersburg. You need $1 million smile for those championship photos, and that's exactly what you'll get with Reynolds Family Dentistry.
I believe you can get me through the night.
Welcome back to the Golf Club at Eagle Point Studios, Indiana Sports Beat. Joined now by our good friend Matt Weaver from Peaks.com, the absolute guru on Indiana football. Matthew, how are you, sir?
I'm doing okay. How are you guys doing?
Good, good. Post-spring game, and Indiana made it through that, I think, pretty much injury-free. Didn't get to see everybody quarterback-wise. Of course, Jack Tuttle was going through an illness, and Michael Penix was still recovering from his knee injury, but Peyton Ramsey got a lot of snaps, and I'll be honest with you, he definitely looked improved.
Yeah, throughout the spring, Peyton Ramsey to me he's looked better. He's it's kind of what I expected from him. I mean, he's basically what I thought he was, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. But he makes some throws, can do some things, plays his tail off. Still has some limitations with the arm strength, and once in a while kind of makes some decisions or some throws that are kind of head scratching. The interception that he threw in the spring game was really a poor decision and a poor throw. But overall, it was a positive for him. I thought he played pretty well, and made some nice throws, and when guys are open, he found them.
Yeah, the one thing that I really take from that is, and I'm not going to hold back. I think that Jack Tuttle or Michael Penix is definitely going to be the starter for this team. And I'm not saying something that a lot of people don't think anyway. But the good thing is you've got Peyton Ramsey. You've got a really solid backup, if that is the case. A guy that's got 2 years of experience and that can obviously play, if he has to play, without a huge drop-off. He has his limitations that we know about, but at least it could be worse. I mean, and, you look back to when Nate Sudfeld went down that time at Iowa, man, that was just a cluster for Indiana for the rest of the season. I don't think that that's something they have to worry about this year under any circumstance.
Yeah, I would agree. And he's a guy that obviously, his first year of playing, he came off the bench and did a nice, especially that Virginia game a few years ago. And if that's the case this year, you got a guy that he's not going to need any time to get up to speed. He's going to come in ready to roll. If he does come off the bench, if that's his position on the team, he's going to come in ready to perform and do a good job and won't need kind of initiation time. He's going to know what to expect and how to play and do a good job with it. So yeah, it's a nice luxury to have if he does end up being your backup. That's a pretty. It's what I've been saying. The quarterback room is so much more improved this year. This is the best it's been in probably 6 years since I think the 13th season when they had Kaufman and Nate Sudfeld and Trey Roberson. It's what you got to have. I mean, guys go down. We've seen it. I mean, at Indiana, it's happened. Guys go down. Guys get hurt. Guys don't perform up to standard sometimes. And you've got to have more than one guy who can play that position.
Absolutely. Now we've gotten through the spring game. The attention kind of turns back to recruiting. And I know Tom Allen and staff are out still knocking the walls down, trying to keep bringing guys in because they've done a heck of a job over the last 2 years with that. And you're seeing some of the fruits of that labor on the field now. What's going on in the world recruiting for them right now?
Yeah, well, Monday we're in what is basically an evaluation / quiet period, which a quiet period is when guys can, and they were in a quiet period already, basically from the right after the signing day in February all the way through the first part of this month. And the quiet period is when a guy and his family can come on campus, visit, meet with the coaches. The coaches cannot go off campus at all during the quiet period. Now, during the evaluation period, they can, but they can't talk to guys. They can go watch them. Maybe they're playing a spring sport. Maybe they're playing spring football if their state has that. They can meet with their teachers and their coaches to get kind of a feel for them. So that's kind of where they're at right now. This is when you kind of do the legwork on the 2020 class. I mean, they've obviously made a bunch of offers in this class, but this is where maybe you go out and you start to maybe kind of get a feel for maybe who you're if there's two guys that are kind of close, maybe one guy's got a lot better grades or he's a better kid or something like that, or you just like the way he looks better playing baseball or running track or in the spring football practices. So this is just kind of the information, kind of more information gathering stage and a chance for coaches to get out and see these guys with their own eyes instead of watching them on film, because obviously films are geared to make the guys look good. So that's the kind of the part they're in until this will go through the end of May, and then once June starts, that's when it really kind of heats up even more because you got camp season. You have a bunch of guys coming to Bloomington for visits and camps and the official visits. They started that last year with guys can take official visits earlier. So you'll have some guys taking official visits in June. Some of the top guys that the staff is looking to land.
And as good a job as Tom Allen and his staff has done in the last couple of years, they did that on the backs of having crappy teams, to be quite blunt, and the crappy, things just didn't go well the last couple of years. But they still got incredible talent, and now that's looking like it's going to turn around. You got a new offensive coordinator, a much more exciting and open offense. The guys seem to be really taking to it, and you've got pieces in place to actually run that offense successfully. That has got to really bolster recruiting as the success comes. Man, the recruiting has got to continue to even improve more.
Yeah, I think so. And obviously, like you said, as far as what the on the field results haven't been what you wanted. I mean, back-to-back 5-7 seasons definitely disappointing. You know, especially when you were so close in so many games. You know, I know it's cliche, but really it's this team in the last couple of years has been a few plays away, especially on the offensive side. You know, if you could have got maybe a touchdown instead of a field goal in some games, you're looking at a 7-win season. But it is what it is. You are what your record is. And, you know, right now they're a 5-7 team, but you see the talent, you see the depth that they're building, especially on the defensive side, which is really, you know, you need depth on both sides, no doubt about it. But defense, because you rotate so many guys, and the way the games play with so many fast-paced offenses and tempo offenses, you really got to have two deep that can really play and not have any drop off on defense. And they've built that up. You know, offensively, like I said, the quarterback position, which is obviously such an important spot on the team. You know, to me, I said it, you know, ad nauseum. The O-line, to me, is going to determine the fate of this season. If the O-line, and I think the first-team O-line is pretty solid. There's injuries. That's where you kind of maybe wonder, you know, how it'll look. But I like the first-team O-line. I think they're going to be solid. If they can stay relatively healthy, I think the offense has a chance, like you said, with Coach DeBoer and the pieces they have in place to be pretty good.
Yeah, and like I said, the fact that they've done as well recruiting is amazing because they haven't had that on-field success yet, although it certainly seems like it's coming. But when that does come, and that could be coming quickly, there's no reason to doubt that the recruiting could jump up. I mean, Indiana while they have done well for Indiana, they've still been around the 9-10 area of best recruiting classes in the Big Ten. I mean, I think they could make a move to get up into, that upper five, not the top five, but that 6 to 7, 8 area with success on the field.
Yeah, and I mean, to me, a good example is, and you know, I know IU fans, you know, don't, but Purdue. I mean, quite honestly, their on-field success has not been that much better than Indiana. They had the big win over Ohio State, but they've had some clunker losses, but they've gone to 2 bowls 2 years in a row, and it's really jumped up their recruiting. They've got a good staff of recruiters too. I think Indiana's got an equally good staff, but the difference has been one game. You know, the Bucket game the last 2 years they won. They went to bowl games, and then obviously, like I said, the Ohio State win gave them a lot of cachet. You know, but they turned around and, you know, they might have lost them that with the way they looked against Minnesota on the road. And then obviously the bowl game against Auburn was just, you know, atrocious, but they've overall, what the last 2 years for them has helped the recruiting, and Indiana is right there on their heels as far as recruiting. And they've done it with, you know, 2 non-bowl seasons. So you can get to at least 6 wins, get a bowl season. I think this can be a top 25, or a staff that gets top 25 classes routinely at Indiana, which is unheard of.
And it may be too early right now, but is there a guy that Indiana is chasing that they're kind of in good with that would be a really big hit for them?
Yeah, there are there's a few guys there. There's a receiver out of Michigan, Rayshawn Williams, 4-star, really good player, and you know, it's kind of interesting. Indiana, Purdue are 2 of his top schools. Cincinnati, I think, is up there for him. But he's going to announce, I think, on April 29th, if I remember right from one of his last tweets. And that would obviously be a big get. They've done a really good job recruiting him, and not just him, but his family. It seems like his mom is very comfortable with Indiana, with the staff. So they got a good shot there. And then obviously in-state guy would be Josh Fryer from Beech Grove. His dad was actually Bill Mallory's first recruit at Indiana.
Wow.
He's an O-lineman. His dad was an O-lineman. Josh is an O-lineman. And just a really good player. Plays center at Beech Grove, which is unusual. Usually the best linemen in high school usually play a tackle position. But it happens. Harry Kreider did the same thing at Columbus East. He was the best lineman on the team, but played center, which shows the intelligence, shows the trust that a coach has, because obviously it's a position that's got a lot of responsibility. But Josh is a kid that could probably play. He definitely play guard or center, and I've seen him in person. Walk by him at a practice, and he looks like he has a frame that he could possibly be a tackle. Really good player. Wherever you put him, he's going to be a good player. He's got a lot of big offers, but obviously with the connection to Indiana, they're strong with him. So I would say those are 2 guys right now. And Josh is probably a little bit later as far as his decision. He probably won't decide till maybe more towards his season or maybe even into his season. But those are 2 guys that they're really in good shape with. That would be, those are the kind of headline, kind of eye-catching recruits that people will be like, wow, those are really good gets for the Hoosiers.
Well, let's hopefully they can continue some success and land some of those guys. That would be certainly fun to watch. Matt Weaver, we appreciate you so much. You are the absolute guru when it comes to Indiana football. We appreciate you joining us, man.
Okay, thanks, guys. Take care.
You bet. Matt Weaver from Peaks.com joining us as always, keeping us up to date. Man, if you want to know anything about Indiana football, Matt is the guy. He works harder than anybody in that area, and we appreciate him being on with us each week to help us keep you informed. Yeah, Indiana, man, I know you hear that all the time, but you hope every year it's that, man, I think they're going to be good this year. I think they're going to be good this year. But that doesn't mean they're going to have a great season because their schedule is rough. You've got Michigan and Ohio State coming back. You got to go on the road to Nebraska, Penn State, Michigan State. It's going to be tough, and Purdue. So tough schedule, but it's going to be fun. I think the new offensive coordinator, Kalen DeBoer, along with the pieces that are in place, it's going to make it exciting. I think they get the upset this year that they haven't gotten. So there's your hot take. Indiana gets the upset this year that they have not gotten. That get that win that says, hey, they're competitive. I think they get that this year. They've been working hard and their recruiting has been phenomenal. But we'll see.
They've been so close the last few years. I mean, to getting that win several times. So I agree with you. I don't think that's all that hot of a take. I think they finally do it as well.
Indiana baseball, man, you talk about hot. They are hot taking all comers. They are won 8 in a row, and last night they put the 8th one in the books with a 14-3 win over Ball State at the Bart Kaufman Field last night. They did it on the backs of 5 home runs. One of which was a grand salami that not only was it a grand slam by Matt Gorski, this thing, if you've been to Bart Kaufman Field, out in left field, you've got the Jumbotron scoreboard behind the 330-foot fence that goes probably about 40 feet up into the air. He hit a shot that just went over that Jumbotron, and we never saw it come down. It could have been out on Highway 45 for all I know. That was just an unbelievable no-doubter. Goodbye, Mr. Spalding, as they used to say in the old days, with the bases juiced. 5 home runs last night for Indiana. They lead the nation in home runs with 66. The next closest team to them in the Big Ten only has 39. They are hitting the long ball, folks, but they also got pitching. Tommy Summer just gotten back from an injury. I think it's his second outing. He only went 6 innings. I think he pitched against Purdue.
Since the injury.
I think he pitched against Purdue.
Okay.
But only went 6 innings, 10 strikeouts, career high. Now, it's not 1,000, but the Indiana pitching has hit double-digit strikeouts in 15 of their 37 games. They're getting really good pitching. They're getting phenomenal defensive play. They got that last night in spades. So they've got it going. Jeff Mercer's got it clicking on all cylinders. And I believe we've got Coach Mercer.
We do. He's talking about the Gorski homer, just going over the scoreboard, just how massive that was.
Yeah, that was a bit unique, right? That was a bit different. Matt's a special player, and we all have those. We all have ebbs and flows in our personal lives and everything that we do, and that the same thing offensively. And so, Matt's really been working hard. He and I've had conversations as well as with the other coaches, and you see him in the cages. And I talked to some of the coaches this week, and I said, Matt's getting right. You can see the way his body language is in the at-bats. You can see the way he stays parallel to the plate. You can see his approaches. When his outs are firm to the middle of the field consistently, doesn't expand the zone, you can see that he's getting right again. And you knew it was coming. It's just a matter of time, just like everybody else comes and goes. But, Matt obviously is a little bit more front and center, right? Everybody knows him, and he's a great player. So, but it has been nice to see him go again. I've been just as impressed with all of his at-bats on the home run. Was terrific, but he's been really close.
And just real quick, Scotty,
Coach Jeff Mercer of Indiana baseball, as they are rolling right now, man. They've got it going. They're 25-12. They're number 22 in the RPI before last night's game. So that they may move up a little bit more. Lead the nation in home runs. They've got a 3-game set on the road this weekend up in East Lansing against Michigan State. They come back Tuesday and play in Victory Field in Indianapolis against Ball State again. And then the Tuesday after that, a big game. They travel to Lexington, to Kentucky to take on the Wildcats. The Tuesday after that, they're back at the Bart Kaufman. Now, they've got other games, but the following Tuesday, they'll be back at the Bart Kaufman to take on Louisville. And that's going to be a huge game. Louisville is one of the top 4 RPI teams. They're one of the best teams in the country, always a good program. Of course, Coach Lamonis, who was here previously, came from Louisville, but so some connections there. But a great program. That'll be a heck of a game. Hope the weather's great because the Bart will be filled to capacity. Look forward to that. So we'll see what that entails. But Indiana baseball is really rolling, and Jeff Mercer doing a phenomenal job in his first season. They are definitely probably heading towards an NCAA tournament berth. Now they need to continue to play hard so they can shoot for a super regional to host. Because if you do that, man, you really increase your chances of getting back to Omaha, and that's the goal. So we'll see if they can get that done. But we got a lot more to coming up on the program here. Come to you, of course, from the Golf Club at Eagle Point Studios. Indiana Sports Beat back with more right after this.
Hello, everybody. Jim Coyle from Indiana Sports Beat. When I'm not covering the Hoosiers, you can find me at Bubba's 33 in Clarksville, located on the northeast corner of I-65 at Veterans Parkway. Bubba's 33 has hand-tossed pizzas, bold burgers, and ice-cold beer from a select list of local craft brewers. An incredible food selection, all made fresh daily. Whether you're meeting the team for that post-win meal in the family dining area or meeting friends for happy hour to watch the game on one of Bubba's 50 TVs. Bubba's 33 in Clarksville. Pizza, burgers, beer.
We all want a winning smile for those championship photos, and that's exactly what you will get at Reynolds Family Dentistry in Sellersburg. Reynolds Family Dentistry has been serving the dental needs of Hoosier families for over 30 years. Let Doctors Roger and Jay Reynolds take care of your family. Just off of I-65 at 809 South Indiana Avenue in Sellersburg. Call 812-246-3368. That's Reynolds Family Dentistry, 812-246-3368.
Many medicines used to treat colds and flu contain acetaminophen, a pain reliever and fever reducer found in hundreds of over-the-counter and prescription medicines. But taking too much or more than one medication containing acetaminophen per day can damage your liver. So always read the label and don't take acetaminophen if you drink 3 or more alcoholic drinks every day. To learn more, visit fda.gov/OTC pain info. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services Food and Drug Administration.
This is Jim Coyle with Indiana Sports Beat.
And I'm Justin Kalen with Indiana Sports Beat.
Justin, what's your favorite show?
It's got to be Indiana Sports Beat, but I'm not ever sure where to find it.
Well, you can always like and follow us on Facebook. Always follow the show rebroadcast on iTunes, Google Play, iHeartRadio, Spotify. TheDailyHoosier.com is a great place to sign up for each and every day. Or, of course, on 97.7 The Ref in Evansville. For the best recycling and waste removal service, turn to the area's leader, Sweetland Waste Removal and Recycling, a homegrown company serving southern Indiana since 1995. Sweetland Waste Removal and Recycling serves Floyd, Clark, Harrison, and Washington counties. For excellent service and peace of mind, call Sweetland Waste Removal and Recycling today at 812-944-5642. That's 812-944-5642. Keep life sweet with Sweetland Waste Removal and Recycling.
All across the country, people are coming together to speed up what we can learn about health. The All of Us Research Program is calling on 1 million people to join us as we try to change the future of health. For your family, for future generations, for all of us. Visit joinallofus.org and find out how you can become 1 in a million.
All right, crew, let's get her dug.
Honey, want to give me a hand? I'm planting that tree, remember?
No matter how large or small your digging project may be, no matter how urban or rural, you must always call 811 before any digging project. 811 is our national one-call number, alerting your local utility companies to come out and mark any lines they have near your dig site. You must call 811 at least 2 to 3 business days before any digging project, so you can avoid hitting our essential buried utilities. This includes natural gas and petroleum pipelines, electric, communication cables, and water and sewer lines. So before you do this or this, make sure you do this. For digging projects big or small, make the call to 811. Brought to you by Common Ground Alliance.
Today's guest is brought to you by Bubba's 33 in Clarksville, with hand-tossed pizzas, bold burgers, and ice-cold beer. Pizza, burgers, beer. Bubba's 33 in Clarksville.
Standing over there, the devil's son-in-law.
Welcome back to Indiana Sports Beat, coming to you from the Golf Club at Eagle Point Studios, joined by our good friend Lance Stemler. Lance, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing well. How are you guys?
Good, good. I appreciate you, as always, being with us. A lot going on right now. Indiana landed a nice recruit yesterday in Joey Brunk, and that's something you know about because you were a transfer into Indiana. Talk about being a transfer, first of all, coming into a program from another school, and you got guys that are already there and already entrenched. There's a lot to the dynamics of a transfer coming in, isn't there?
There is. More so as far, I'm sure he knows most of the kids just from being recruited or being an Indiana kid. When I came in, I wasn't, but you get. I really think that being a transfer in and being a junior, he'll be a redshirt junior.
Yes, sir.
Just being older and mature, and kind of being able to relate and adapt, and knowing that it's your last stop and you want to make the best of it. I think it's the mature factor helps more than anything.
Absolutely. And he's got experience. He's been playing, which is also a big thing, and something this team obviously can use because Archie's talked about getting older and staying older. And even though he's a transfer, they're actually getting older with this transfer, which is a good thing. But what are some of the other things you can see him bringing in? He's a big 6'11" banger. That's something Indiana could certainly use. But what do you see him bringing to the team in his play?
I think more than anything, just the stability of that maturity factor, being that older guy, being around the block. It's not his first go round, so he can, even though he'll be new to Archie and the staff. He's been around, and he's a smart basketball player. He's an Indiana kid, so he can kind of talk to the importance of that. As far as what they can bring to the program, and I'm excited to see it. And really, I think it was a good get, regardless of the points and rebounds. But just they've been looking for a glue guy, a team guy, someone who fits that mold, and I think he'll fit that role pretty well.
Absolutely. A lot of new faces will be in Bloomington next year wearing the Indiana jersey. Actually, 9 of them. Now, a big portion of that is some walk-ons. But there's been a lot of said and talked about in regards to with the coaching change of Archie not having his own guys. He's got recruits from a different coaching staff that coached differently, that recruited differently. How crucial is it that he is getting his own type of recruits to run his system?
I think it's big, especially today in today's game. I mean, you have a certain way that you want to play, and regardless of the guys that are there, you're going to try to get them to play that way. And sometimes, and we've talked before, but some teams buy in. It doesn't have to be a guy you recruited, but if you buy into what the coach is preaching, then you become his guy. If you fight that culture, then you don't. And not everyone fits every culture. So it's a matter in every style. So it's just a matter of fit, as a player, finding your fit and buying in for the time that you have there. And then if not, I mean, the transfer rules are different now. Go somewhere else that fits. But Archie or Coach Miller and the staff, they need to build it the way that he knows how to win.
Absolutely. Talking with former Indiana baller Lance Stemler. And when you have a guy or a couple guys, but a guy that is just not really buying in, but he's one of your players that has to play, how disruptive can that be to the team, to chemistry, to what you're trying to do?
I mean, it can be very disrupting, and some of it's on the court, some of it's off the court stuff. I think hurts teams more than anything. Locker room mentality. What are you trying to do for the coaching staff? Are you doing everything they're asking? And if you're not, you can generally, somebody who's not bought in isn't just on the island by themselves. They try to find other personalities on the team, which is where you see teams split. I mean, you see it all the time in sports. Teams get rid of what on the outside looks like a really good player, but afterwards they're like, oh, addition by subtraction, because the teams mold and gel and get better after that at times. So, I mean, with anyone, like I said, it's going to take his time for him to build it his way. I'm very confident once he does, Indiana fans will get a good product and enjoy watching his teams.
Absolutely. One of the things that I've just not let up on is that they have got to get shooting on this team. And I think, to me, it's critical that they land somebody that can shoot. Now, you've got Devontae Green, who really improved his shooting, and I think will continue to do so. And if they can get Finney and Al Durham to continue to improve their shooting, that's going to go a long way. But as a team, they shot 31% from behind the arc last year. And you look at a team like Virginia, who they run the same defensive scheme, the pack line, and they're defensive oriented, but they predicate their offense off of that. But they were one of the top three-pointing shooting teams in the country this year. And, of course, they ended up winning a national championship. And to be elite, I've always said you've got to have elite players that can do elite things. And to me, that's one of the big, glowing, missing pieces right here are shooters for this team.
Absolutely, 100%. And it's different. It's weird watching an Indiana team that doesn't have shooters because traditionally that's just what Indiana does. They generally don't out-athlete anyone, but have good skilled players that can shoot the ball. So I think it was a little different this year. It's just a matter of building that roster out and building the role guys, to me, that can shoot and guys that can come fill in spots and just be ready to knock down shots. And there's a plenty of them, I know, around the state of Indiana. So you generally don't have to go far to get those kids that want to come play and can shoot. As far as Devontae and Al, it'll come around. And the more they work, it's just a matter of confidence. I thought both of them by the end of the year were good shooters, but you still need the knockdown. And you saw it when they were making shots, they were as tough a team in the country to beat. And you go the other way when you're not. So it's just a matter of kind of building it out and executing.
Absolutely. We talked about social media before. I'd asked you about because it was different when you were coming through. It hadn't gotten to the point where it is now, but now it is there. And it seems to sometimes affect recruiting. If you were coming through now and being recruited and all this stuff's being said on social media, good stuff and bad stuff, Lance is great, Lance sucks, going back and forth, would that have any bearing on you, or is it you think that's just the individual that allows that stuff to seep in?
I think it's in today's age, I think it's more the individual who allows it to seep in, just because it's so plentiful as far as, and these kids grow up on social media, or have grown up on social media. So if you don't learn to block out certain things early on, I'll be honest with you, Indiana is not the place for you, just because you are in a fishbowl and you are in the spotlight, and that's why you want to come. But like anything, things have its negatives. So you want to be a big fish in a big pond, you come to Indiana, but you take the negatives with it. As far as, and some of it's self-driven. I mean, if you're on social media and you're doing things and then you want that attention, well, you get what you ask for, because there's always going to be the negatives that come along with that. But obviously, in my mind, the positives outweigh. And as a recruit, you don't really, honestly, you don't think about that a whole lot, I don't think. Probably more so now than you used to. It's just everything's just amplified now with social media because everyone has an opinion. Everyone has, and no one's scared when they're behind their keyboards.
Yeah, and with things like Twitter, people actually have not completely direct access, but direct access to communication with these people because they can just add them and they can get the message to them. If you were a player today and you had the people that were saying things that they just shouldn't, what would you say to fans like that as a player that are reaching out directly to these players, whether it's positive or negative? I just don't think fans should be doing that personally.
I agree 100%. And I mean, positive encouragement to teams that you like, I'm always for. Honestly, if I was a player today, when season rolls around, I would shut down my accounts just to keep it out of my head and focused. But easier said than done, right? I mean,
yeah,
that's just how life is. But as far as the fans go, no one and the aspect I look at it is no one puts more effort into these wins and losses than the coaches and the players and their families. Regardless of what you get, I mean, if you're a fan of the school and the team, cheer for them because you know what? Throughout the year, your negativity and the comments and everything that comes along with it isn't going to change what they're doing. They're focused, the staff's focused, the players are focused, and they want to win for themselves more than they want to win for each individual Joe Blow out there, if that makes sense. So, I mean, they're going to put the effort in, and they're putting in 100 hours a week or whatever it is between practice, workouts, school, everything else, and they're human beings. As far as the outside fans don't look at players and think, oh, he had a bad game, then it's generally something negative going through their head as to why. Well, maybe they have personal issues going on. There's a great article that Kyle Guy wrote or was in earlier this season about his anxiety last year. No one knew about his personal issues going on. And then it amplified after they lost the first round game. And they're just the kids, the coaches, they're all humans. People lose sight of that.
Absolutely. And generally 90% of the time, the people that are doing that, they don't have a clue as what they're talking about. And then you never know what you don't know. So there's always that. I'm surprised there aren't more coaches that actually demand that their players shut their accounts down during season. I would think that was something I would actually consider if I was a coach, saying, you know what, if you're going to play here, you have to give me a commitment. You're going to shut that stuff down during the season. It's too much of a distraction. I'm surprised that doesn't happen, but I don't know that maybe you're in a society that's too far gone that coaches no longer have that authority. I don't know. I'm surprised you don't see that.
Yeah, I agree. That's a tough spot. And I know a lot of programs, as far as I know, monitor that stuff on their players, obviously just to keep them from saying dumb things and doing things online. And maybe just because you are exposed to those followers and the exposure's there for the program, the school, and each individual player. But that's a tough thing to do just because at the end of the day, they are 17, 18 to 21-year-old kids. And that's what all these kids are. That's what everyone does, and that's how they stay in touch with their friends. That's like basically shutting them down from really just being a normal student or a normal. And that's what they preach is we're student athletes, right? And but they're not. They're celebrities on campus. They're in a fishbowl. So having a little normal life is always good, but yeah, that's a tough thing to figure out as far as how social media is today, and how to have players like that.
Absolutely, Lance Stemler, I can't tell you how much I appreciate you having us. Hope your family's doing well and you guys are having a good spring.
Yes, sir. Are you still down in Southern Indiana?
I'm in Bloomington, my friend.
Okay, all right. I'll hit you up next time I'm in town.
We're there, brother. Lance, thank you so much, my friend.
All right, thanks, bud.
You bet. Lance Stemler, former Indiana basketball player, is going to wrap up the show today. Tomorrow, we've got another great one coming to you. We'll be joined by Kevin Brockway, the IU beat writer from CNHI Papers. Also, Scott Agnes joins us from Boston, from The Athletic, as the Pacers are in Boston to take on the Celtics in the NBA playoffs. I'll have that and much more tomorrow. Stay tuned. That's going to wrap it up for Jake. For Justin, I'm Jim Coyle. I will see you on the radio.